Hi there, I'm Nick from Sundance, and today we're on the Jeanneau NC 1295 Fly. It's their largest outboard boat and the biggest in the NC lineup. It is about 40 feet. It is the next size up from the NC 1095, which is the next size up from the NC 895. It's a 3-stateroom, 2-head boat, and it's just laid out wonderfully. It's a really great layout. So this is going to be a long video, go into a lot of detail, but before we do that, we're going to do a quick walkthrough and I'm going to show you some of the highlights. The cockpit is nicely laid out, spacious, L-shaped seating arrangement, a nice teak table that opens up with cup holders in the middle, flybridge access here. This is great. This is a port side boarding door. So the boat's easy to board from the port or starboard side. Moving into the interior, the galley is aft into port. And this doorway opens up all the way like this. And then we have this bar top that opens up like that, really solid. Again, galley aft into port. And then a large U-shaped dinette on the port side. This does convert into a berth. The lower helm station and pilot house door to the starboard side with a wide pilot house door. Easy in, easy out. Wide side deck on the starboard side. The side decks are asymmetrical, so the starboard side deck's a little bigger than the port side deck. And of course the pilot house doors on the starboard side. Moving forward, we have the master forward, 2 spacious double berth staterooms, kind of midship, port and starboard. And then the master head, it's a dry head, which means it has a separate shower stall. And then the shared head is also a dry head, a separate shower stall there too. Up on the flybridge, there's lots of seating and sunning space. So this is a seat that converts to a sun pad. The seat back here flips both directions. And we have an outdoor galley on the fly. So a grill, a sink, and an ice maker. So if you'd like to learn more about the 1295 Fly, keep watching and we're going to go through a lot of detail on the boat. The 1295 has an excellent cockpit enclosure. This is an option, but this boat is equipped with it. I'm going to take it off so you can see how it comes apart. It just takes 2 or 3 minutes and then it rolls up. It's recommended to roll it, not fold it. If you fold it, it can develop creases, but you roll it up and store it on the boat or leave it on the dock when you're out on a trip. And then this strap here attaches to stabilize the cockpit sunshade. There we go. That's all there is to it. The galley of the 1295, U-shaped galley aft into port. It has this great accessibility into the cockpit and this bar top here. With the doors closed, it folds away like this, and then with the doors open, pops up like that. And it is very solid. They did a good job there. Fusion stereo control up here. There's what's called a Scheiber screen right here, which is on this boat is monitoring, battery monitoring, tank monitoring, and I believe you have some air conditioning and reverse cycle heat control up here. And then overhead storage lockers. And then this is a curtain, a privacy curtain. We have one that extends out from this side and one that extends out from the other side, so you can close off the back, the doors for privacy. Induction cooktop here, cup holders, microwave, and then right here is a compartment. It's a fiberglass compartment with a drain in the bottom. So you can use this for drying dishes, or you could fill it up with ice and use it as a cooler. And the sink. Trash can, some galley storage here, There is this nice little spice cabinet there. Oh, and a cutlery drawer there. And then on the other side, across from the U-shaped galley on the starboard side, we have the refrigerator and freezer. There's air conditioner with reverse cycle heat in here. And then there's more storage up here. Wine bottle storage, overhead lockers. And then behind this panel, we have battery switches. Well, battery switches and some more. So air conditioner control. So that'll allow us to turn on this air conditioning unit. I believe there's 3 or 4 on the boat. Main house battery switches. I believe that's engine batteries. And then the generator batteries. Generator control panel. So it's got a Fisher Panda generator, really quiet, really nice little generator. That's controlled there. And then the parallels, the emergency parallels. If you've got dead engine batteries, you can engage the parallels and start the engines off the mains with those. The dinette, U-shaped dinette. So this table lowers. I'll go ahead and do that. Loosen those collars. So it is assisted with a gas shock. So when you're ready to lift it back up, it's an easy lift. Get these cushions over the table. And there we go. And then lock the collars, and it's locked into place. And you can see there's a detent where the table drops into and is supported. So it's very solid. It'll easily support your body weight. So to bring the table back up, unlock the collars and then give it a little lift. Get the cushions below it. There we go. And it's back. Forward of the dinette, this curtain goes all the way across and is a privacy shade for the front windshield. Okay, there it is. So here it is with all of the curtains and blinds closed. Jeanneau did a pretty amazing job with the privacy curtains on this boat. You really do have complete privacy. These are also great for when you leave the boat to prevent UV damage, UV exposure to the interior. And then if you were using this dinette, converted it to the berth configuration, then you'd be able to keep the light in here down, and again, for privacy. Under the galley in the 1295 is a really great storage room, and there's also access to some of the equipment on the boat. So we just lift this hatch. There's a ladder against the aft bulkhead here. Straight down, through this panel in the bottom, there's bilge access. On the forward bulkhead, there's some AC breakers. So these are the AC main breakers. There's two lines coming in. And so this is one of the lines, this is the other line. To port, we have the 3 battery chargers. So one for the house bank, one for the generator, and one for the engine bank. And then there's the Fusion stereo amplifier on the bulkhead all the way to port. A breaker for the windlass and the CNAP system. And then I can see the port side, hull side of the boat, and there's 4 through hulls, above water through hulls. Those are drains. One's probably sink. One might be an air conditioner. One I think is for an ice maker. So that's what those are over there. And then the table, we've got the table for the bow stored in here while we're not using it. And under the table, there's another panel with access to one of the battery banks. And then on the starboard side, another battery bank, and then some storage. There's these nice drawers. There's 4 of them. So slide in and lock into place. And as you can see, there's a lot of room under here. You could store a lot of stuff down here. And there's some more storage here. Goes back that far. All right, we're gonna go over the lower helm on the 1295. I have the engine batteries on, so I can power up the Yamaha system. And I can fire up the engines. You can do them individually with these 3 start-stop buttons, or there's a single start-stop button that will fire them all up in order. So now they're all running. They're not very loud, they're really quiet. And Yamaha screens coming on. So what we have is 2 12-inch Garmin screens. Those do quite a few different things. So chart plotter, depth sounder, fish finder. There is an optional backup camera on this boat, so we could pull up the backup camera. There it is. So that's right behind the engines. Over here we have an air conditioning and heat vent, zip wake. So this boat has the zip wake, which gives you automatic trim and roll control. Very cool system. Bow thruster control here, a USB plug there, 2 cup holders, lights, underwater lights. This is the fuel selection switch for the center engine. So there's a fuel tank to starboard and a fuel tank to port, but there's 3 engines. So the center engine can be run off of either side. You select it with that switch there. This lightning bolt controls power to the nav screens. So I just shut those off, turn the lightning bolt back on, they come right back up. Freshwater pump is on this switch here. Horn, 2 manual bilge pump overrides. So the bilge pumps are on automatic sensors, but if the automatic sensors weren't engaging the bilge pumps for some reason, you can override that here. And the windlass control up down, used that a few minutes ago to drop the anchor. And the Yamaha joystick. So this will allow you, this is great for docking, just amazing for docking. You turn on the joystick with the joystick button, and then I'm not going to do too much because we're still anchored, but we'll demonstrate that later. Yamaha screen here, so you can, it's a touch screen. We've got engine RPMs up. This is temperatures and pressures and voltages, fuel flow, and then you can drill down into lots of other information there. Spotlight control. This is Yamaha stuff here, so heading hold, so this is autopilot, heading hold, course hold, track point, and pattern steer. So that's all Yamaha autopilot stuff. Chain counter over here, windshield wipers and washer fluid over here, the safety lanyard right here, and then this is a nice convenient pocket for screen covers. Got my phone in there, my wallet, my keys, some of the boat keys. Just a nice convenient pocket to keep that stuff out of the way. And then the helm seat, nice wide comfortable helm seat with a flip up down bolster. So you can have it in the up position and stand. You can drop it. Footrest, fits perfect. And this seat slides. There's a knob over here you pull out and it slides. And it rotates. Locks into different positions. This is nice. So when you're done running the boat, you can participate in the conversation. Over here by the helm seat, between the helm seat and the pilot house door, there's 2 fuel shutoffs. So there's 2 fuel tanks, 2 fuel shutoffs. Those are, you pull those, pulls a stainless cable, it goes back to a valve on each fuel tank and shuts off the fuel coming from that tank. So that would be, that's not a normal shutdown procedure, that's an emergency thing. If you needed to shut off the fuel supply for some reason, you do that there. And then the pilot house door. It has multiple positions you can lock it in. So that's one of them. This is great. You can just open it a few inches, let the air in when you're running the boat without getting blasted by the full open door. Or you can lock it all the way in the open position. And it's a wide door and it doesn't take much to duck under it. I'm 5'9" and it's real easy to get under. So that's the lower helm station. We'll go into a little bit more of that, like the autopilot and the zip wake when we're underway doing some performance testing in a little bit. At the bottom of the stairs forward, we have the AC power transfer switches. So these are for transferring from shore power to generator power. I absolutely love that Jeanneau did simple switches. They're foolproof, almost fail-proof. Nothing's fail-proof, but these just are reliable and simple and easy to use. So to shut off, to switch, right now we're on generator power. You can see our voltage through both lines. To switch over to shore, which isn't gonna work because we're not plugged into shore power, but if we were, we just turn off generator, slide this lock out, turn on shore. Off generator, slide, turn on shore. So if we were plugged in, which we're not, we're anchored out in the middle of the river, we'd get voltage and everything that just shut off, which is the heat, would come back on. I'm gonna switch back over to Jen. Simple, easy, simple. And then right here, we have DC fuses. Very easy to get to. There's covers, there's 3 fuse boxes, there's covers on each one. Pop those covers off and fuses can be replaced very easily. And then forward, we have the master stateroom. So the master has a hatch, an opening hatch right here. So we can open that for ventilation. It can lock open or closed. And actually it locks in a vent mode too. So it's open maybe a 1/2 inch in the front here. Close it back up. Mirror storage all around, so overhead storage lockers forward. And then this is nice. So right now through this window, we're looking at the underside of the bow cushions. We'll take a look at that arrangement later. But there's bow seats and they convert to a full bow sun pad, which is what that is. So without those there, we'd have a clear view of the sky out the front. And then another hatch here. There's a privacy shade, sunshade, and a bug screen. And then whole windows with curtains. There's hooks at either end so you can lock them open or closed. Closet hanging locker there. These are exterior covers. These are probably flybridge covers, possibly cockpit seat covers, possibly bow covers. Those are definitely outside covers. And then over here, an air conditioner. Control for that is right here. To the starboard side from the master is the master head. So the head, the toilet is over there. So it's a dry head. You can go into the shower, close the door. Works great, lots of room, plenty of room. There's a lock up there to keep the shower door open so it doesn't flop around when you're underway. And these mirrors do open for more storage in the head here. And there's a heat and air vent in the head from that unit in the master. Moving aft to the port side is the shared head, also a dry head. There's a magnet lock up here to keep that from flopping around while you're underway. And again, plenty of room. And there's a fixed glued-in skylight. It's frosted for privacy, so you cannot see in, and an opening hatch for ventilation, also frosted, so you can't see in. Hull window through here, and blinds for privacy. Same thing here in the shower with blinds for privacy. And then this mirror opens for more storage in the head. Storage under the sink. And then in the middle, under the carpet, there's this access panel. So this gets us, this is the holding tank here. You can see the lines going in and out. That's the sender that goes up to the Scheiber screen to tell you the tank level. And then there's a gray box forward. That is the sump for the shower. So the showers drain into there, and then that discharges as needed. And I believe this is the domestic water pump here. So just behind the shower sump is a macerator pump. And then to starboard, we have another stateroom. Storage locker here. And it's very spacious. It's set up so there's filler cushions to make it a single berth. You can pull these out, and then you have a 2-berth configuration with quite a bit of storage down there. And USB outlet over there for charging. More storage access here under the stairs. Outlet, opening window, curtain for privacy, reading light, and we'll go check out the other side. Port side stateroom is a lot like the starboard side. Storage locker, air and heat control here. Again, these filler cushions come out. These fold away, and we have a 2-berth configuration. Storage in the middle. Storage, storage. And then in the middle here, there's access to the water tank. Make that 2 water tanks. Access to another water tank there. And under the berth in the master, we have a nice storage area. and access to the windshield washer reservoir. And forward, under this half, so it's a slatted base under the mattresses, and there's access. These slats are nice for both comfort and keeping condensation out from developing under the mattresses. So thruster battery right there. Thruster battery, 2 thruster batteries. And there it is. Bow thruster right there. And all the way forward, basically just a storage compartment. It's the very front of the boat. So what would you keep all the way up there? I'm not sure, but you know, if you're doing some extended cruising and there was something you weren't going to use very often but wanted to have on board, you could keep it up there. On the foredeck or the bow of the 1295, there's three sun lounge seats. Nice size and shape. The middle one, the center one, this cushion flips up out of the way, and you have access to the hatch, the window going down into the forward stateroom, which you can actually open from out here, just like that. It can be locked from the inside to prevent access from the outside. And there's also the privacy shade on the inside to prevent people from seeing in, but it's pretty dark. You can't really see in anyway. And when this is flipped up, this is a nice touch. Couple of cup holders right here in the back side of the cushion. And then we have the dinette table, the foredeck dinette table. There's a pop pin to remove this. And let's see, and a collar right here. If I'm loosening this collar, tabletop comes off. You could stow that somewhere else. And then to pull this out, pull this pop pin, and then there we go, table's out. All right, so typical new boat stuff. Some things need tightening and adjusting. We dropped the anchor, no problem. But then when I went to bring the anchor back up, it just spins. Now that's not a big deal. This comes with the boat. This is a handle specifically for tightening this. Put it in there, tighten it, and it's fixed. And then this tether goes on the chain and then through this lock and snugs up just like that. Now it's not going anywhere. All right, so now we're gonna do some performance testing on the NC 1295 Fly. We're on the Columbia River. We have a current, so we're gonna go one direction, record speeds, fuel burn, numbers, and then we'll turn around, go the other direction to account for the current, and then we'll show you an average of those numbers on screen in the video once we put that together. So right now, all 3 engines are at 1,000 RPMs. We're going downstream, 7.7 miles per hour and 6.7, 6.8 knots. 1.9 miles per gallon, 4 gallons per hour. All right, 1,500 RPMs, 9.8 miles per hour, 8.6 knots, 1.6 miles per gallon, 6.3 gallons per hour. All right, 2,000 RPMs, 10.3 knots, 11.9 miles per hour, 12.1, 12.0, about 12 miles per hour. 1.2 miles per gallon, 10.4 gallons per hour. 2,500 RPMs, 13.3 miles per hour, 13.4, 11.6 knots, 0.9 miles per gallon, and 14.4 gallons per hour. 3,000 RPMs, 14 miles per hour, 12.2 knots, 0.8 miles per gallon, and 18.4 gallons per hour. 3,500 RPMs, 16.7 miles per hour, 14.5 knots, 0.7 miles per gallon, and 25.2 gallons per hour. Okay, 4,000 RPMs, 22, 23. Still climbing. So the boat is just kind of wanting to get on plane right now. Still 4,000 and 24.9 miles per hour, 21.8 knots, 0.7 miles per gallon, 34 gallons per hour. All right, now the bow's really come down. We're really well established on plane. You can feel the boat just kind of break free and want to go faster. And 4,500 RPMs, 33 miles per hour, 28.6 knots, 0.8 miles per gallon, and 39.8 gallons per hour. 5,000 RPMs, 37.7 miles per hour, 32.7 knots, 0.7 miles per gallon, and 55 gallons per hour. 5,500 RPMs, 42 miles per hour, 36.3 knots, 0.6 miles per gallon, 74 gallons per hour. And wide open throttle, 57 to 5,800 RPMs, 43 miles per hour, 37.5 knots, 0.5 miles per gallon, and 80 gallons per hour. So there was a range in there where we were consistently getting 0.7 miles per gallon, and that seemed to be the most efficient speed range where we could maximize the range of the boat. And that's consistent with a trip I did up the Washington coast in a 1295 last summer. That's about a 400-mile trip up the coast and averaged about 0.7 miles per gallon, consistently cruising in the 20s and 30s. So there's a range there where the fuel efficiency, overall fuel economy is about the same. It's about 0.7, which is great. I think the boat holds 260 something gallons of fuel, so a couple 100-mile range. Now we'll turn the boat around and record those measurements going upstream. All right, so let's talk about stay point. So stay point is part of the Yamaha joystick system, the Helm Master system. It allows you to press a button on the joystick, and using GPS and the outboards and the way they independently move, basically the functions of the joystick, it holds you in one place and it keeps the boat pointed in one direction, and it locks you into that spot. So it's really convenient if you're waiting for locks to open, if you want to stop and have lunch but don't want to take the time to set anchor, if you're coming into the marina and you need to put lines and fenders out, you can engage stay point and then and do those things, and the boat just doesn't move. So we'll engage that right now. There we go. It says stay point activated, and now we'll go back and take a look at what's going on behind the boat. All right, so we've got stay point engaged. The GPS and the Yamaha Helm Master system is keeping us pointed in the same direction and fixed in the same location as when I press the stay point button. And it's doing it all with the outboards here. You can see them moving around independently, doing their thing. This is similar to what they're doing when you're using the joystick. And it's really amazing. You see the current, the water's moving past us because there's quite a current in the river, but we're not going anywhere. We're just fixed in position. One of the really cool features on the 1295 is this drop down, flip down side deck, or side terrace as they sometimes call it. So I'm going to show you how this works. Pretty easy. It's powered. There's two locks. One of them here. Sometimes it can help to give it a little pull in to release the lock, just like that. And then same thing on this side. Now that it's unlocked, there's a button right here. Down goes down. And there's one more step. You can of course use it in this configuration for getting onto a paddleboard, getting onto a kayak, but a lot of the time, of course, you'll want to have these safety rails out. And really easy, they just drop into these sockets. Just like that. And then they lock like that. And like that. So now you have this stainless steel safety rails, safety tethers, and you can still use it with these for getting onto a kayak, getting onto a paddleboard, going for a swim. And you can unhook here, for example, if you wanted to open up this part. And to take this, or to fold this back up into the boat, you just do everything in reverse. Stow these under the cockpit or down in a stateroom if you're not using it. And then up button. And then just like when we were unlocking them, a little bit of a pull and they lock right into place. And it's done, it's locked, ready to go. One more thing I want to demonstrate and test is the joystick, the Yamaha Helm Master joystick. So to engage that, we just press the joystick button right there. And then we can make the boat do whatever we want it to do with the joystick. So if we turn it like that, the boat starts to rotate. As you can see, it just spins. If you push it forward, the boat will go forward. If you pull it back, the boat will go back. And if you lean it over to the side, of course, the boat will go to its side. And you can give it complex commands, so you can twist it while leaning it over to its side, like that. And you can see now we're rotating and moving over to the side. And you can give it a little bit of backward, a little bit of forward. It'll do anything you tell it to do, which makes docking extremely easy. So if you're interested in checking out one of these boats, stop by one of our locations, Sundance Yacht Sales in Portland, Seattle, or Blaine, or give us a call. See you out on the water.